Hello students, this is Swati Agrawal. So students, today we are going to discuss a new chapter in science, that is air around us, chapter number 15. We will discuss about the various properties of the air and the composition of the air. So students, we all know that the living things requires the air for their survival. But any one of you ever seen the air? We might not have seen the air, but surely we must have felt its presence in various ways. We can notice the presence of the air when the leaves of the trees rustle or the clothes hanging on a clothesline sway. Pages of an open book being fluttering when the fan is switched on. So the moving air makes it possible for you to fly your kite also. We have also noticed that during the storms, the wind blows at a very high speed. It may even uproot the trees and blow off the rooftop. Now student, during your childhood days, have you ever played with a firki? It is a simple toy which is made from the paper, and you can see it in the figure also. If you will see it, you will recognize that what is the firki. So what happens if we hold the stick of the firki and place it in the different direction in an open air, and we move it front and back forth, we will observe that the firki is rotating. So how this firki is rotating? Just the moving air makes it possible the firki to rotate. Similarly is with the weather rock, which is useful to show the direction in which the air is moving at that place. So students, now let us find out that is air present everywhere around us or not. To prove this, let us do an experiment. What you have to do, just take an empty bottle, and what we will do, we will test it if it is really empty or not. Okay, what you have to do, just turn it upside down into a bucket filled with water. You may feel the upward pressure. Now if you slightly tilt the bottle, the water enters the empty bottle. Also, we can notice that the bubbles are also coming out of the bottle. So what are these bubbles? These bubbles coming out of the bottle are basically the air which is present inside it. So we can say that the empty bottle is not really empty, but it is filled with the air. This experiment might you have done accidentally many times when you are going to have a shower in your bathrooms. When you have a bucket filled with water and a empty mug, when you just pour that mug in the bottle, you will find a large bubble is coming out. So that means that empty mug is not basically an empty, but it is filled with the air. So student, this experiment shows that the air occupies the space and it is present everywhere. Air has no color and it is transparent. And also the earth is surrounded by a thin layer of the air, which is extending up to the several kilometers above the surface of the earth. This layer of the air is known as the atmosphere. Now students, let us discuss what is air made up of. So students, in the earlier times, it was believed that the air is just a single substance. But later it was proved that the air is the mixture of many gases. Gases like the oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and the other miscellaneous items like the water vapor, dust and smoke. So students, when the air comes in contact with the cool surface, it condenses and the drops of the water appear on the cool surface. So the presence of the water vapor in the air is important for the water cycle in the nature. And also about the dust and the smoke, the burning of the fuel produces the smoke, whereas the dust particles are always present in the air. Smoke also contains a few gases and fine dust particles. Smoke and dust particles are often harmful to the human beings. So students, these air contains mainly the oxygen, nitrogen and the traces of the water vapor and the dust and the smoke particles. We have learned these. These minor particles which are present in the air, they are also responsible for the pollution when their amount becomes the very high. So they are responsible for causing the pollution also. Now students, let us discuss what is basically the composition of the gases in the air. By this we mean how much percent of which gas is present in the atmosphere. So air mostly contains the nitrogen and the oxygen, as you can see in the data. They both together make up to the 99% of the air, and the remaining 1% is constituted by the carbon dioxide and few other gases, water vapor and the dust particles. If we see that the nitrogen in the air is present up to the 78.08%, oxygen is presently near about the 20.95%, and the carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust and the smoke and the other gases, they are present up to 0.97%. So this is basically the main composition of the air. So now students, oxygen is one of the main components which is present in the air mixture. It is very important for the survival of the living organism. It is the component which supports the burning. Now let us come to the nitrogen. Nitrogen is the other component, but it doesn't support the burning. It is the major component of the air mixture and it is very useful for the plant growth. Third component is the carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide makes up the small component of the air only. Plants and animal consumes the oxygen for the respiration and release the carbon dioxide. Apart from this, we will also observe that some tiny shining particles moving in the beam of the sunlight. These are the dust particles which are present in the air. The presence of the dust particles in air varies from time to time and also from place to place. We inhale the air which we breathe through our nostrils. Fine hair, mucus are present inside the nose which prevents the dust particle from getting into the respiratory system. Moving on, let us discuss that how does the oxygen become available to animals and the plants which are living in the water and the soil. We will discuss it one by one. First, we will discuss how the oxygen is available in the water. So student, what happened here? It is often asked that how animals under the soil or in the water are able to breathe. The answer is, when we heat or boil the water, we often notice that the bubbles start to form. You ask your mother to boil some water. If she starts the boiling the water, you will see some kind of the bubble inside the vessel. So what happened? These bubbles are in fact an identification that air molecules are present in the water. So students, when water is heated, the air dissolved in it escapes first, followed by the water itself getting converted into the vapor. So this is how the animals which are living in the underwater are able to respire, because these water having the dissolved oxygen in it, and these oxygen are used by the animals and the plants which are living inside the water. Now students, let us see how the water is present inside the soil and how the animal which is living inside the soil, they are able to breathe and survive. So to see the presence of the water in the soil, what we will do a simple experiment. We will take a small lump of the soil in a beaker and add water to it. what do you observe? We will see the bubbles which are coming out of it, which, as we discussed in the previous slide, that it is a proof of the existence of the air molecules in the soil. As water is added, it displaces the water molecules in the soil, which we see in the form of the bubbles. Animal makes use of this air to breathe under the soil, and some animals makes holes and burrows in the soil to help make the pathways for the air to enter the soil. When it rains heavily, earthworms and the other animals which are living inside the soil, they come out of the soil because these pathways get blocked by the water and they need to come outside to find the air to breathe. So that's why you will see generally the earthworm and the small animals which are living inside the soil coming out because they need the air to breathe, and these holes and the burrows are blocked by the water. So this is how the animals which are living inside the soil are able to breathe. Now students, let us see how the oxygen in the atmosphere is replaced. We have already read about the process, that is the photosynthesis. What happens in this process? Plants make their own food and oxygen is produced along with the photosynthesis process. Plants also consume the oxygen for the respiration, but they produce more of it than they consume. That is why we say plants produce the oxygen. So student, that is why we have to plant more and more trees, because to have the oxygen more. It is obvious that the animals cannot live without the plants. The balance of oxygen and the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is maintained through the respiration in plants and animals and by the photosynthesis process in the plants. This shows the interdependence of the plants and animals. So students, till now we have known that how important air is for life on the earth. Now can we think of the other uses of the air also? Let us discuss in brief. So the students, the wind makes the windmill rotate. The windmill is used to draw the water from the tube wells and to turn the floor mills. Windmills are also used to generate the electricity. Secondly, air helps us in the movements of the sailing the yachts, gliders, parachutes and the aeroplanes. Birds, bats and the insects can also fly just due to the presence of the air. Air also helps in the dispersal of the seeds and the pollen of the flowers of the several plants. So students, air plays an important role in our life. And one more use, the air plays an important role in the water cycle also. So students, as much as the water is important for us, air is also important for us equally.